Hello and welcome back to FC26 Spin the Wheel edition, brought to you by myself, Bevchenko. In today's episode, we have a home game against Fenerbahce in the Europa League after our 0-0 draw over in Turkey last week. However, we also have a trip to Newcastle in the FA Cup, and as you can see from the draw, there could be an all-championship semi-final. West Brom versus Southampton, Oxford United versus Millwall, all playing each other, and then all Premier League affairs between Newcastle United and Nottingham Forest, and Spurs versus Manchester City. Then we should round out the episode with another home game against Aston Villa in the league. So hopefully we can consolidate a Champions League spot, which would be nice. So let's get on with the action. So Nottingham Forest at home against Fenerbahce in the Europa League. There's only one change, and it's quite a shock. Brennan Johnson will be starting up front for Nottingham Forest. The rest of the team stays exactly the same as we have been for the past couple of games, which has been quite successful for us, with plenty of 1-0 wins. It's time to try and get some more goals. Obviously, the last time out, Nottingham Forest was subject to a shock 1-0 defeat at the hands of Fulham. Harry Wilson scoring deep into injury time. He had an excellent performance, by the way, which definitely grabbed my attention for a potential shortlist. But here we are. Talisca on the ball. Nice sunny day at the City ground. Forest trying to win this ball back. Emre. Skinnier. So Fenerbahce playing much like they did in the first leg, just keeping hold of the ball, passing it around a lot, but not really probing. Alvarez to Ismail, who was the key player for Fenerbahce, was the captain last time out. Forest hoping to use Brennan Johnson's pace today up front. If you can get the ball back, Dan and Doy is struggling. Oh, and Aktoglu has just walked through that defence. And he's won it back. Aktoglu skips by Ola Aina. Half a chance here for Fenerbahce. Forest recover well. And they've won it back. Now's a chance for Forest to counter-attack. Morgan gives wide. Looks for Brennan Johnson. He finds him. Lays the ball off to Ola Aina, who gets down the line. He's looking for a ball through. It doesn't quite come off. Talisca picks it up on the halfway. Everything seems to be going to Ismail Aktoglu. Brown. Christensen. The former Chelsea defender there. Now plying his trade in Turkey. And Nesri to Alvarez. Nelson Semedo. Fenerbahce must have done 10 times as many passes as Forest already. Alvarez. To Skinner. Foul gone there. Referee waves play on. Forest needs to get hold of this ball. We're definitely going to have to play counter-attacking football today. Forest cannot touch the ball. It's unbelievable passing by Fenerbahce. There's ball over the top. And still keep hold of it. Alvarez charges to the edge of the box. Half chance here. Lose the ball. Elliot Anderson picks it up. That's what we're waiting for. Brendan Johnson's got the ball. Floats the ball over the top to Dan and Doy. Looks for a runner in Ola Aina. He gets it. He can cut this ball back. It's half a chance. As well blocked was the cross. And Talisca comes charging through. And Fenerbahce once again reset. And just decide to pass the ball back. Ismail's not much going to happen in this game, I don't think. It's not going to be a classic, that's for certain. So obviously we're in the knockout stages now. 0-0 was the first leg, so we need to get a goal. There has to be a winner today. Brennan Johnson cuts inside. And Morgan gives white is offside, but the referee plays on as Fenerbahce pick up possession. Christensen to Aktoglu, to Brown, to Christensen. Alvarez. Well won back by Dan and Doy. So cheers from the Forest crowd. And that's half time. So they finally win the ball back and it's half time. Fenerbahce will be the more pleased of the two sides so far, that's for certain. They've played well without really creating anything. Speaking of creating, Fofana could create something here. Nope, ball gets kicked away. And Aktoglu restarts the game for Fenerbahce. Emre down the line, dancing on the ball again. Forest getting a bit frustrated here. Might have to make some substitutions. I feel like it could be a formation change really, which is going to help them. But we'll stick to what we know best for now in this current formation. The Ange ball formation. So we want to keep it realistic for Ange. Brown to Christensen. To Aktoglu. Brown again. He's lost possession. Nice little dink by Ola Aina to Dan and Doi. There's only two of them with half a chance here, so going to have to get support, and it doesn't come. He's done excellent as Dan and Doi there to win the ball back. Forest still with the ball. Comes over the top. Should win that. Brennan Johnson with his pace. He does. Plays it back to Nico Williams. Back to Fofana. To Douglas Luiz. Can he make something happen? Nice little pass to Dan and Doi. Shot comes in from the captain. Morgan gives white. He is held by Edison. Forest probably won't want this to go to penalties, given Edison's reputation for shootouts. So Forest beat Emi Martinez when needed in the FA Cup without it going to penalties, so hopefully they can do the same again today. Morgan gives white. Fenerbahce just defending resolutely today. There's not much they can really do. Just got to keep probing. It's the only way. Quick passes. And that back four of Fenerbahce appearing impenetrable at the moment. But Forest keep probing. Douglas Luiz plays a ball to Dan and Doi. Half a chance. It's hit the frame of the post. It's the closest Forest have come today. Certainly got the tails up now. Pinning Fenerbahce back. Just got to keep getting that ball back and hope that time doesn't run out. 20 minutes to go. Still 0-0 at the City Ground. 0-0 on aggregate. Elliot Anderson does well to win the ball back there, but it comes to nothing. Fenerbahce ringing the changes, their second substitution. Yüksek comes off and Fred comes on. Former Manchester United midfielder. Fofana, plenty of pace today for the French superstar. He's been a terrific signing for us. He hasn't really, I don't think he's scored yet, but he's certainly been capable of making things happen down that line. Quite similar to Dan and Doi, really. Dan and Doi has a few more assists to his name. And that's a terrible ball by Dan and Doi. He won't be assisting there. And Fenerbahce looking for another substitution with 8 minutes to go. Here comes Fred, his first touch of the game. He's giving it away. Elliot Anderson. Forest can just not make anything happen here. Talisca brings it forward. Closed down by Elliot Anderson, but he puts it to Alvarez. And then once again, Fenerbahce send it all the way back to reset. It's an interesting tactic by Fenerbahce, but I mean, it's nullifying Forest. Would have been interesting to see what would have happened if Forest scored from the Dan and Doi effort which hit the post. Forest got to be careful here because we're in injury time now. So the game will be going into extra time. No changes from Forest. I'm sure they will for the beginning of the second half when it looks like there's going to be penalties. Aktoglu. Fenerbahce looking a bit more aggressive now. Brown loses out. Dan and Doi's got the ball. He's looking for support. He needs that support. And Jekunya plays it to Ola Aina. Plays it down the line to Dan and Doi. Half a chance for Forest here. Lovely ball. Puts the ball through. And Elliot Anderson. Double save by Ederson. That was a big chance for Nottingham Forest. And Callum Hudson-Odoi is going to come on for Fofana now for the corner. Forest haven't scored a single goal from corner kicks all season. Is it going to change now? He's just nearly scored, did Douglas Luiz. Floated over. And Dan and Doy's coming off for Amari Hutchinson. Forest throwing a bit of extra pace on this game now. Semedo to Asensio. Forest need to find a winner at the City ground to take them through to the next round. Or will they hold out for penalties? The lottery of a penalty shootout. Bear in mind, they've had one this season in the Carabao Cup against Huddersfield Town, which they lost. So, I mean, Huddersfield Town were excellent with all their penalties. But we can't rely necessarily on Matt Sells to do the job. Can we... poor ball by Brennan Johnson. He went the wrong side of the defender with that through ball. Fred. Fenerbahce just wants to get to the break by the looks of it. Just pinging it around, keeping it at the back. Half time. 0-0. Johnson kicks it off. Elliot Anderson. It's Callum Hudson-Odoi. Fenerbahce just get back in numbers. You can't put the ball forward. Bit of a waste by Callum Hudson-Odoi, to be honest. He knew nothing was on, but he still tried it. Arguably should have laid it back to Nico Williams. Alvarez brings it forward. A Fenerbahce wanting to play for penalties. It's not looking like it now. They can sense an opportunity in these final 15 minutes of extra time. They've definitely played really, really well in nullifying Forest. That's for certain. 7 minutes to go to find a winner for either side. Who will be going to the next round of the Europa League? At this rate, looks like it's going to be Fenerbahce. It doesn't look like Forest are going to make those substitutions. Fred. Szymanski. Alvarez. We'll leave it in God's hands. Half chance here for Fenerbahce. It goes. Brennan Johnson's going to come off for Igor Jesus for the final minute. But they've got to deal with this corner. Well cleared by Morgan Gibbs-White. And that should be full time. And we go to penalties in the Europa League. Douglas Luiz first up for Nottingham Forest. Straight in the bottom corner. The goalkeeper's going to... Oh, no. And Nesri is going to take this one. Oh, and he went the right way early, did Matt Sells. He just didn't dive. Morgan Gibbs-White, the captain. And he sends the keeper the wrong way again. Ederson taking a penalty now. Where will Ederson go for this one? He's blasted it wide. First blood to Nottingham Forest. Igor Jesus. Straight in the side netting there. Beautiful penalty. Alvarez. Can Matt Sells get his hand on one? He puts him the wrong way. Great penalty by Alvarez. Moussa Niakate. Centre back. Steps up. Another great penalty. Ederson's not happy with that. They need to score here to Fenerbahce. A miss would see them out of the competition. Dorgale. Saved by Matt Sells. The Belgian keeper wins it for Nottingham Forest, who are through to the next round of the Europa League. Great penalties by Nottingham Forest, and Matt Sells does the job in the end. Here's that save once more. So Forest refreshed after the international break as we return to action in the FA Cup, the 6th round of the FA Cup at St James's Park against Newcastle United. Nottingham Forest reverts to Igor Jesus starting up front after Brennan Johnson started against Fenerbahce. Voltemade kicks off, passes it to Willock. The fantastic St James's Park. Excellent atmosphere as usual. On a sunny day in the northeast. Willock puts the ball over the top. So Anthony Gordon. Forrest got to be careful of that danger man. Plenty of pace in Anthony Gordon. Morgan gives White a beautiful ball there. Looks to send Igor Jesus through. Just cleared out. And Spotman clears and gives it to Joelinton to Josh Murphy. Bruno Jimenez. Looks for Anthony Gordon in his pace. So Ola Einer's got to be careful today. Definitely got his work cut out. Could make or break the cup competition. Willock to Dan and Doy. Back heels to Morgan Gibbs White. Doesn't come off. Back to Willock though. On the edge of the box. Looking for some room. He's made a bit of space for himself. Joelinton's got to be careful here, Forrest. Josh Murphy puts the ball in, but well blocked by Nico Williams, who anticipated what was coming there. Malik Fofana gets away from his man. Plenty of pace. Ball over the top by Igor Jesus, looking for Morgan Gibbs White. Doesn't come off. Joelinton picks it up. Presses forward. Great tempo in this game. And Anthony Gordon's pace here, as predicted. 1-0. That's his 3rd goal of the season. He's not played much as Anthony Gordon. He must have been injured. Be surprised if he's been dropped, given his ability. Forest in trouble today, I think, on this right-hand side. Malik Fofana trying to make something happen quickly. And he's absolutely rocketed that at Nick Pope. It's out for a corner. Forest looking to take it quickly. Cross comes in. Headed away. So Elliot Henderson, highly rated still in these parts. After coming through the academy. Morgan Gibbs White wins a corner for Forest. Big ball over the top. Header not dealt with. Nico Williams on his right foot. Rockets a shot in. And there's been a shout for handball here. We're going to have to look at this again. We may have to interfere as VAR, but Sven Botman's been accused of handball here. Can't give that. He puts his hands behind his back. So we're going to have to miss the penalty, unfortunately. It's actually quite close, this one. Lucky for us, Matzel still blasted it over. So, justice done for Newcastle thanks to Bevchenko VAR. And here they come again. Voltemade. Douglas Luiz picks that up. Fofana. Skipping past the challenge of Kieran Trippier. It's quite reckless by Trippier, to be honest. He tries to put a nice pass across to Igor Jesus, but Sven Botman intercepts that. Josh Murphy. This game has been at a frantic pace. It's been really good from both teams. Anthony Gordon here. Forrest. Got to be careful on this left-hand side of Newcastle's. Willock. Sven Botman. Bruno Jimenez. Kieran Trippier. Takes it down the line. Malik Fofana chases him. Manages to get hold of him, but ball goes to Josh Murphy. Romagnoli to Hall. Willock. Dispossessed by Jacuna. Douglas Luiz. Puts the ball over to Igor Jesus. To Dan and Doy. Looking for that support now, but Dan and Doy's through here. He's going to have it take it on himself. And Nick Pope saves it, and there's no one there. Igor Jesus, stop running. Should have done better, the Forest man. Still 1-0 to Newcastle after that early goal from Anthony Gordon, who's... Oh, terrible ball by Morgan Gibbs White. But Igor Jesus keeps... Oh no, it was a foul on a Newcastle player apparently with that challenge by Igor Jesus. The referee has allowed play to continue as they picked up possession once more. Malik Fofana. The ball given away. Willock again. End-to-end stuff this game. Great ball to Igor Jesus. Tries to dummy Roman Ogli, but he saw through that one. Play on, says the referee. Another foul. Morgan Gibbs-White having an effort. Comes to nothing at half-time. 1-0 to Newcastle at St James's Park. So, important game for Forest, this, in the FA Cup. As Evangelos Marinakis wants them to win the tournament. And Newcastle are just putting men behind the ball now every time that Forest are on that attack. They're getting back so quickly. Nico Williams doing his job there. Great ball by Igor Jesus to Dan and Doy. Needs some support though. And there isn't any. Handball. Yes, I thought that was handball. Morgan Gibbs-White on Roman Ogli. Romagnoli, rather. Been pronouncing his name wrong all game. Apologies. And you can't give that penalty either, I don't think. So we're going to have to miss this one as well. VAR causing absolute drama that Forest have had 2 penalties officially overturned. So we go again. I think definitely the right decision to overturn these penalties. I would love your thoughts on if you think they were penalties or not. Cross comes in by Ola Aina. Wins the ball back. He's going on the edge of the box there. Bouncing all over. Romagnoli wins it, gives it Anthony Gordon. And they're on the counter-attack, Newcastle. Lewis Hall. Getting hassled by Dan and Doy. Dan and Doy wins it back. Great play by Forest. Douglas Luiz. Threads a lovely ball through to Fofana. Who threads a ball to Igor Jesus. Who threads a ball to Morgan Gibbs-White. To Dan and Doy. This could be a great goal. Saved by Nick Pope. That would have been a beautiful goal by Nottingham Forest. Might have been the goal of the season. Igor Jesus making way for Evan Nilsson now. Forest desperate to find a bit of magic in. Ola Aina's just missed his opportunity to get the ball off Anthony Gordon. But they do get it now. So Fofana. Wingers have been very important in this game. Elliot Anderson. The Geordie Maradona. Returning to his spiritual home. Voltemade. Strength of the big German. Signed as a replacement for Alexander Isak. Oh, the ball's been given to Anthony Gordon, who brings it forward. Forrest got to be careful here. This is where he scored last time. He has another attempt. Matzel saves it. Quickly launches it to Dan and Doy, who gets past Hall. Substitution for Newcastle coming. But what can they do here, Forest? Cuts inside. Looking for an opportunity. He's taking it on himself. The outside of his right boot. Saved by Nick Pope. Elliot Anderson wins it back. Surprised Newcastle haven't put a bid in for him. Ball over the top by Evan Nilsson. Morgan Gibbs-White. And it's gone wide. I thought it was in the back of the net. It went wide. Oh. It was a beautiful goal. Well, it would have been if my eyes were correct. Chance over the top for Evan Nilsson. That's saved by Nick Pope as Evan Nilsson bounces off him. 12 minutes remain. Forest pressing and pressing and pressing. And they cannot find a way past Nick Pope at the moment, who's made 2 vital saves in this game. Tino Livramento. Can't remember him touching the ball so far today. Joe Linton. Oh, Tino Livramento came off for Kieran Trippier by the looks of it. We must have missed that substitution. Joe Linton loses the ball. Oh, terrible effort by Fofana. 7 minutes to go. There's no power on it. Jacob Murphy. To Fofana. Nico Williams. It's Douglas Luiz. Ola Aina. Plays it to Dan and Doy. It's a great sliding challenge by Hall, but Dan and Doy comes off the better. Cuts inside. He's looking for that support again. Needs more. Needs more. Here's a chance. Oh, it's just taken off Morgan Gibbs-White's toe. 1 minute remains. And that could be it. Forest could be out here. 2 minutes injury time. Forest needs to get a bit pinball machine here. Last chance for Forest. Ball comes through to Morgan Gibbs-White. What can the captain do? Brings it back to Fofana. Brings it back to Nico Williams. The last man you need shooting. And it's blocked. Newcastle progress in the FA Cup at the expense of a valiant effort from Nottingham Forest. VAR overruling 2 penalties today. So the quarter-final of the Europa League now has come into play. Stuttgart versus Nottingham Forest. The fixture got brought forward, so we'll be playing this game for our final game of today. 2 big changes as Forest fly to Germany. Morgan Gibbs-White is rested. The captain is rested. Moussa Niakhaté will take on the armband, and Amari Hutchinson will be in his place. We also have Evan Nilsson getting a start up front today at the expense of Igor Jesus. So the rain's coming down in Stuttgart, and Forest are in the quarter-finals. Stiller to Luling, to Chabot. Stuttgart knocking it round well early on. Karazar. Bit of a heavy challenge by Nico Williams there, but the referee says play on. Forest struggling to get the ball against, rather like Fenerbahce really. Undav. Elliot Anderson wins it to Amari Hutchinson. We're going to need some pace over the top, I think, today. Dan Hutchinson. Evan Nilsson plays it to Dan and Doy. But there was an opportunity there for Forest. He just couldn't get the ball away. His touch took it too far. Furyk manages to keep the ball in play. Oliveira to Karazar. Forest using their pacey players today. I think that's why Amari Hutchinson got the call instead of the ever-creative Morgan Gibbs-White. We'll no doubt see him at some point. And Furyk's through here. And it's 1-0 to Stuttgart. Forest are appealing for offside. And it's not coming. Chris Furyk with his 3rd goal of the competition. I can't believe that's not been disallowed. I mean, from that replay, I thought it was offside myself. Fofana. Forest could be going out of 2 cups today. Which will not please the ownership of Nottingham Forest. We'll see. Europa League success results in Champions League qualification. So another reason for Forest to win that competition. They're getting battered here. Llewellyn to Nico Williams. He can't get past. Nico does well there. Ball goes out for Stuttgart though. Nico wins it for Fofana on the counter. He needs support. He's getting support. Pings the ball over the top to Tamari Hutchinson. He's got the pace to deal with it. Great save by Newbell. Forest have been stopped by keepers left, right and centre these past few games. Moussa Niakhaté uses his Knowledge there to hold back. Harry Hutchinson looking to fire away. Llewellyn holds the ball up, brings the rest of his teammates into play. Assignon to Chabot. To Stiller. Zagadou. To Oliveira. Plays it forward to Carazor. Intercepted by Fofana. Great bit of play by Forrest. Evan Nilsson looking for that support again. Dinks another ball. Uses Amari's pace. Comes to nothing. Newbell collects it with ease. Carazor to Stiller. Looking to probe the ball forward to Llewellyn, who's probably been the main threat for Stuttgart today. Great ball by Evan Nilsson to Dan and Doy, and he's got the better here. Can he take it on? It's another unbelievable save by Newbell. Forrest cannot score at the moment. What is going on? Elliot Anderson fires over the header. Nothing new there from a corner. Forest have completely lost their shooting boots today. And they have scored some fantastic goal in the last game with the volley by Morgan Gibbs-White. It was disallowed. Llewellyn to Elliot Anderson. Amari Hutchinson using his pace well. Some support coming in from Dan and Doy. Poor bad ball, Amari Hutchinson there. Tried to play it across to his feet rather than threading a through ball. And that's half time in Stuttgart. 1-0 to the hosts. A Forest going out of the Europa League as well as the FA Cup. And Emma Nilsson kicks off. The rain continues to come down. Dan and Doy. Oh, that's offside by Evan Nilsson. Brennan Johnson is coming on for Dan and Doy. Forest need to make something happen. It's been a bit stale. They gain the opportunities down the line, but when it's coming to put it in the box, it's not been good enough. Amari Hutchinson. I think it was definitely the right decision to play Amari Hutchinson today over Morgan Gibbs-White. Some of the fan base may disagree. Ola Aina, again, done by Furic. Great save by Matt Sells on the follow-up. Ola Aina has been done for pace the past 2 games. Is the Nigerian on his way out? Jed Spence waiting in the wings to get a starting call-up. Carazor to Stiller. Forest need to get this off Undav, but he plays it back to the midfield. There's just no central midfield for Forest today. Where is Elliot Anderson? Where is Douglas Luiz? I've not even seen Douglas Luiz. Chabot to Assignon to Llewellyn. The threat. The main threat. Carazor lays it back to Oliveira. To Furic, the goal scorer. The man who could be putting Stuttgart into the semi-finals. What's the keeper doing over here? Forest can win this back. It's a bizarre play. Not seen the keeper come up this far for a while. Brennan Johnson. The Welsh international cuts it back. Finds a bit of support from Evan Nilsson, who rockets a shot on his left foot, and it's well saved by Newbell. Morgan Gibbs-White is coming on for the final 20 minutes. The captain. And Elliot Anderson wins a free header and once again puts it wide. Time running out for Forest. Carazor to Oliveira. Zagadou. Forest need a goal. They can't go out the way they did of the FA Cup in the previous fixture. Chabot. Stiller. Furic. Oliveira. Zagadou. Furyk plays it to Karazor. Time running out. 15 to play. And once again, the gap opens up down this left-hand side for Stuttgart. Referee says play on. The referee said play on. And he's given a penalty. Jacuna, I think, has been accused of handball here. Oh, that is harsh, referee. So, Forest can't turn this one over. Mateta scores to make it 2-0 to Stuttgart. Forest going out of the quarterfinals by the looks of it with a controversial penalty, which will be sickening for Forest given that they had 2 clear-cut opportunities overturned by VAR against Liverpool in the FA Cup. Evan Nilsson tries to get a shot away. It's blocked. Good time for Mateta to come on as a substitute, wasn't it? Gets a goal. Probably a nice payday to go with it. Morgan Gibbs-White gives the ball away to El Khanous. Formerly wanted by Nottingham Forest. Chabot to Assignon. Forest chasing shadows here. I can't see them winning this one now. Stiller. The only saving grace to this is that if we don't win a trophy, which I can't see us winning the Premier League anyway, so this is our last chance, we won't have to spin the wheel. Which, if we had to spin the wheel and win a trophy, if you look at the rules in the descriptions, would mean we have to tender our resignation, potentially. So every cloud has a silver lining. But there it is. Stuttgart 2, Nottingham Forest 0. Controversial penalty. You decide. And that is all for today's episode. So hit that subscribe button if you've enjoyed the content. And please like the video to help with the algorithm. Until next time, cheers.